What's going on, Star Citizen fans? It is your boy Raptor Spiritus, and I am back with another one for you guys today. So we're gonna take a look at the roadmap roundup that just dropped. Now, before I get into it, we're gonna talk about the obvious elephant in the room that has been plaguing us for the last 2 weeks: 4.8, which has been in a super atrocious state. Not only did we have multiple bugs that made gameplay hard, if not at all possible, due to a lot of people being shard locked. There and other people's accounts weren't even able to log into the game. But also, of course, as a lot of you already know, the ironclad state that it was released in was absolutely abysmal. So right now they're working on fixes to address a lot of those issues right now. They were supposed to release those today, but there was an exploit that they ran into that they're trying to fix and then release it. So currently the only thing that was dropping in today's patch is basically the new mission, which is a defend mission of fuel tankers. So basically you're going to go out there, forces are trying to blow them up, there's bombers that are going to be trying to blow up the fuel tankers, and you're going to basically defend them. And they have different tiers that you can play to, from easy to really, really hard. So it gives a little bit of diversity to the gameplay, so that if you're solo, you can do a lot of the easy ones. Then as you get harder, you keep going up and doing a lot of them, it gets harder and harder and harder, which is cool, because then that, you know, allows people to get to a certain level. And then of course, if I'm assuming if it's, like they said, it was like a tier 6 is the highest, then you can probably get with an org and do things, because there's probably going to be a lot more enemies to combat and you're going to need help. So that is what dropped in the patch today. So today, like I said, we're going to go over the roundup real quick. So let's go ahead and get into it and see what's going on. So I'm not going to really worry about a lot of this extra stuff, notable changes for 4.0. 4.8, we already know about that. So let's go ahead and get into 4.9, which is going to be another big release. I do believe that should be coming in July. I want to say, I can't remember, but I want to say it is July, but we'll see. So in 4.8, the awesome, amazing event comes back, Siege of Orison. I had the privilege of playing this gameplay. I forget exactly. I'm sorry. The mission. Geez, I'm freaking bird brain here. Playing this mission, the Siege of Orison, a few years in a row. I love this campaign. It is super cool. Now, back then when I played it, of course, it was just a bunch of people on Orison. You get on a shuttle going to these platforms that are way far outside of Orison, and then you basically have to fight your way through each platform with the goal of taking down a boss, and then turning off these. You have to find a key or code to open these boxes to turn off these weapon emplacements that keep shooting down other ships and shuttles. So then make your way to the next one and just keep it pushing until you get to the final boss, which is, I do believe, like 3 or 4 platforms over. It is a really cool gameplay, and this is probably one of my favorite ones they've done in the past, and I'm glad to see they're bringing it back. So let's see what's going on with it. Implementing a new operation, Siege of Orison, introducing instance FPS. Now this is really big, because before it was just everybody just going in there and getting jiggy. It was fun, and it's actually a good way to make friends. However, there were the occasional pirate griefers that decided to want to act like they were on the opposing side, the Ninetales side, and then they would, you know, start killing other players in the end in that campaign. So it was a little bit like frustrating, because you're expecting to fight NPCs and then you're fighting other players, and it's just a whole thing. So this is going to be instance now, where it's going to be you and your people, the people who you want to play with, or yourself, and an instance where you don't have to worry about random players coming in and trying to, you know, disrupt your gameplay. So I'm super excited about that. I know a lot of people will be, where it's just you, your org, or just you and another person, or just you, and want to go through it without being disturbed, so you can enjoy the full scale of the game, the fun of the mission in the game, which is really cool. So let's say instant FPS gameplay, where players assault Ninetales controlled platforms in coordinated team-based encounters tied to mission-driven progression. So that I kind of already explained how it actually goes, but it is definitely a great gameplay. I love this mission. I'm glad they brought it back. I'm glad they made instancing a thing. So this is really big for me. I can't wait for it to drop. I'm going to be playing it constantly, and it pays really well. The next thing is talking about instancing. Implementing instancing to create closed gameplay spaces with controlled accesses. Access is managed through instance prerequisites, party leader ownership, and safeguards that prevent or remove ineligible players. That's what I was talking about before, where if you and your group want to do something, you will not get disturbed or bothered by other people camping it or trying to camp it, so they can just ruin your gameplay or ruin your day. This is great for people who don't want to deal with PvP stuff. I love that. And then I think the QV rock missions were kind of like that. Paid extra money, you get a QV rock station that no one else is at. And if they had another one where you can do it, but anyone can go there and then, fight it out. So it gives people options to do stuff. But I love the fact that no one else can ruin your time and rock your shit up and mess up your gameplay and your fun with other people. So that's super cool. Now we got something called Super Heavy Combat Armor. Implementing the Super Heavy Armor class, enabling players to equip and operate a new category of powerful super heavy weapons. This is what I've been waiting for. I cannot wait for this. And I hope they really hone in on this by making manufacturer spec different armors. That's what I'm hoping for. Like the different armor companies that they have in the game, because the game, remember, everything revolves around a design language by a specific company, so it's not the same as everything else. I love that, and this is an opportunity for them to hone in on that and create different battle armors that look different. They may do the same and then have them all have loadouts you can equip, right? Like for ships, you have different weapons you can attach to the ship. Do the same thing with this battle armor. Have different looking ones. Have ones, and they all have maybe the basic weapon outlook on it or whatever. But then instead of a laser, have a bespoke ballistic that you can do. Something like that. Maybe a bespoke one that's more like the Parallax lightning guns, something like that. Have different options for it, but make sure have a couple different variant from the manufacturers. Have one that's more from the Parallax group. Have one that's from Barreling or whatever that one is. That makes the FS9. Just have different battle suits available, so people don't have to wear the same exact thing. Different battle suits, different colors, different textures, and then also they throw some alien in there. Throw some power suits that are alien in nature. That would be super sick if they did that. So my hope is that CIG will really take this to the next level. Give people options, give people variety, because that is what this game is literally about. Variety, having different being able to just have your own special gameplay for you, the player. You don't have to have the same exact thing as someone else has. You can do it differently, and I'm hoping that they do that with these battle suits. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. CIG, I'm ready for it. All right, so let's move on, because I could talk about battle suits all day. This heavy combat armor, I could talk about that all day. So let's talk about Apocalypse Arms Vendetta HMG. Now this is interesting. I was surprised to see this. Implementing a brand new weapon type, the heavy machine gun with the Apocalypse Arms Vendetta HMG. belt fed and usable with the new super heavy armor and its dedicated ammunition backpack. It delivers sustained high rate fire from a large rotating barrel while carrying up to four magazines of ammunition. Okay, so this is attached to the battle armor. Okay, cool. This is what I'm saying, because now see this is exactly what I was getting at. So you notice how they have the Vendetta arms as something separate, which means that there are more possibilities and more arms to use for the battle suits that they can implement, right? That's what I'm talking about. That is that diversity. That is that customization. Because not everybody wants to use a Gatling. Maybe someone wants to use a more battle like rifle or something, that maybe a grenade launcher, something. You know, people want variety. You know, I'll tell you what would be sick if they had one that's a flamethrower. That would be devastating. But anywho, so I love that they have separated it. So you get the battle armor, but you'll have, I'm sure, like a basic thing. But now they have an arm set that is separate from it that will have a Gatling gun. So that's super exciting. I'm so stoked about that. And you know, with the battle armors, they can make armors that, you know, basically are like the Atlases that are made for salvaging, mining, you know, cargo thing. It could be like the Atlas Deluxe, where it could, you know, help with cargo stuff. Like that's just sick. I can't wait. Oh my gosh, CIG, you have so much potential to make this game amazing. But for the love of God, and I love what you're doing with all this stuff, but Jesus Christ, can you guys please focus on fixing the game to where the bugs that we keep seeing, that we've seen for the last 5 years, can stop plaguing the game, because they are a plague. You have the ability to do so, and I love that you're coming out with all this amazing stuff, but the game, even if it's an alpha, that's a poor excuse to allow a game in the state, and as long as it's been out here, to still be having the same problems from 5 years ago. That is ridiculous. So I'm not going to go too much in that, so we're just going to keep going on and moving on. All right, this is another big one. This is part of the Starware situation that they're coming out with now finally, which I'm excited about, because me personally, I don't always like wearing armor. Sometimes I want to roll up and just close and just straight Han Solo this joint and just start shooting people with a blaster, but not get completely taken out in like one shot. Combat clothing, implementing lightly armored apparel designed to offer a more stylish look while remaining viable in combat situations. Yes. Not everybody wants to wear armor, especially, you know, like all the time. You know, I wear a lot of light armor, to be honest. So this right here is definitely up my alley. And let's face it, I would rather wear a little bit of clothing with but you know, a little bit combat versatility, instead of having to wear regular armor all the time. And then of course, whenever suit lockers jump in, then you can switch between clothing, armor, depending on what you're doing, and your suit of armor, your big armor, right? And especially with the fact that, you know, you're having where heavy armor and high G maneuvers in certain ships and fighters make you black out really fast. I'm pretty sure this light armor clothing is not going to black out as fast, and that's the whole point, so you can switch between stuff. I'm looking forward to this right here. This combat clothing is going to be dope. 4.9 is really going to add something amazing to the game with the combat clothing, with the super heavy combat armor. Like, I'm so here for all that. I cannot wait. I'm super excited. Now, something I don't do too much often, I know a lot of orgs get into this and they love it, but there is new Wicklow ship offerings, adding a Drake Clipper with a unique base livery and upgraded components as a reward for completing a new addition to the variety of available Wicklow's Emporium contracts. That's pretty cool. I love the Clipper. The Clipper is a sweet freaking ship. It's sweet. And I you know, I will say with the Wicklow paints, they do a lot of good stuff. The paints really look really unique, and I like you know, I would love to see maybe the Wicklow paint be like a white camo ish type paint. That for that would be pretty sick for the Clipper, because I do know the digital green camo paint actually looks pretty freaking fresh. So but the Clipper's a cool ship. I like this. So right on for anyone who loves doing Wicklow. This is for you. Last but not least, mission giver Rico Battaglia, implementing a returning NPC to the persistent universe. Rico coordinates logistics for the local independent miners operating from Levski. Oh, okay. Now I haven't been playing Star Citizen as long as some people, so I don't know who Rico is. That's new for me. So cool. I love new mission givers. You know, I know it's CIG's goal to eventually, wherever you go somewhere in the verse, there's going to be somebody somewhere on like all the settlements and different places that will just be there, and they'll give you missions, like little side missions and stuff like that. That is something I'm looking forward to. So I love when there, you know, maybe there's a bartender somewhere that will give you, you know someone that will, you know, give you a mission for do something, you know, smuggling wise or maybe assassin wise. I don't know. But the point is that I love where they're going with that, and I love that they're implementing more NPCs to give you missions off the rip, you know, from just being there. So I'm here for it. And that is really all that I have today for the roadmap roundup. So what do you guys think about it? Are you guys ecstatic as I am, obviously, for the combat heavy battle armor? I am very ecstatic about it. What do you guys think about the clothing, the light clothing armor that they have coming? Are you excited for it, or are you just not going to use it at all? Please let me know. Write down in the comments what you think about it. I really appreciate the interaction. Of course, you know, your boy Raptor Spirit is always going to comment back. That's just what I do, because, you know, you guys take the time to watch my videos, so I'm definitely going to take the time to respond to your posts. So unfortunately, like I said, we don't have a fix for all the problems with 4.8, but it is coming. I've heard some rumors that it might be tomorrow, so we'll have to wait and see. But I know I am ready for the Ironclad to be in a better place, because it sucks that it is in such a bad state. So CIG, if you're listening out there, if it ever this makes it to you, you know, do better by your players. It doesn't matter if it's an alpha or not. Your players are still playing it and they're still investing money. Do better. So with that being said, it's your boy Raptor Spirit. You guys, y'all stay safe out there, and I will see you in the verse.